Hello and welcome to the webinar. UBC talks about marine litter campaigns, good practices in UBC cities. My name is Maria Andreeva. I'm a project officer at UBC Sustainable Cities Commission, and I'm very happy to greet you all here. I will just shortly introduce you our commission and what we do and what kind of webinars we organize and what is the context for these webinars. UBC together fostering smart, sustainable and safe cities. We bring cities closer together to the dialogue, cooperation and exchange of common trends and regional challenges in the Baltic Sea region. And webinars is one of our platforms for the city dialogue in year 2020. We will be arranging the webinars to highlight topical issues to marine litter and how it affects humans, how it affects marine animals, and what is the response to it on both regional and local level. There are many various events for us, and some of them are starting already soon in spring, so it's a good time now to prepare for these upcoming events and learn what are the key points to organize the most great 20 campaign for this year. 20 cities with marine litter related events taking place in year 2020. We would like to highlight this marine litter related cities to join this practice, and we have made a page on our website which we'll be sharing after this webinar to register such events, and we invite all our cities to share the dates through this page. In this way, learn about these events and get involved. So join our campaign and register, and we will spread the word. If we go further to the program for today's, and we have 2 time slots reserved for the questions and answers, one after the first presentation and another one after the last presentation. The questions, our attendees are warmly welcome to ask the questions throughout the presentation through the questions box or write your comments in the chat. You can do that at any point during the webinar, and those questions will be addressed by the speakers at the designated time slots. So in our first presentation, we will listen about the nature of marine litter and the regional action plan on marine litter developed in HELCOM. And I have the pleasure to introduce Dmitry Frank-Kamenetsky, professional secretary in the HELCOM pressure group, who will present us this topic. Please, Dmitry, you should get the rights now.
Thank you for introduction. A very small correction to that introduction. Can you see the presentation now? Hello?
We can, but can you click once more on the screen as such? Yeah. No.
Yeah, we see.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And thank you for this invitation. So this implementation of regional action plan on marine litter is one of the topical themes of HELCOM. And we are really happy that UBC is involved into this implementation. So the intention of this presentation is mainly to show relevance of the cleaning campaigns to the implementation of the regional action plan, and probably what kind of additional benefits can gain through these campaigns. Starting my presentation, I would like to highlight that HELCOM is not the only regional sea convention which has this marine litter action plan. This is a topical issue globally, and this overview made by the UN Environment Program show that almost all out of 16 regional sea conventions in the world do have action plans or working on that. The starting point for development of this HELCOM action plan was the analysis made by Arkadis in 2013, and it indicated that almost half of the marine litter entering the sea comes from household activities. while about 25%, a quarter of the whole marine litter, is a result of coastal recreational activities. So it highlights that the beach cleaning campaigns is really one of the important tools for either raising public awareness or really removing the litter which can potentially become marine. The action plan structure, I would probably not spend much time to describe it, for it would be the whole hour and a half of the webinar. So the action plan was adopted in 2015. And it contains about 30 original actions, which means the actions which are to be jointly implemented by all HELCOM contracting parties, and about 27 national actions, which mean that those actions which can be, so to say, selected by countries for implementation. It is a kind of a pick-up list. The action plan structured such a way that there are that it addresses land-based sources of marine litter, sea-based sources, and also it pays remarkable attention to the actions related to education and outreach. I wouldn't, as I said, run through all the actions, but just highlight those which are of high relevance to the Clean Beach campaign, or other way around, where these clean beach campaigns can really contribute in. One of them, this action RL15, which requests to establish an exchange platform for spreading experience and good practices. And I really like the introductory words said by Maria that UBC might serve as such a platform. Furthermore, this action includes cleaning beach actions by local communities. I would like specifically highlight words local communities, which are in many cases coastal cities. And also HELCOM has a few options to work directly with the communities and municipalities, for HELCOM is a society represented mainly by national authorities, though the involvement of such organizations as UBC is extremely important to facilitate this work. Also, I would like to highlight that this action addressing cleaning campaigns not only on the sea coast. You can see that it includes also riverbanks, marinas, and inland waterways. So this might be additional work also involving not only coastal cities and coastal municipalities. I would like to specifically highlight. So then there is a number of regional actions which are addressing education and outreach. They are to a large extent being implemented, but anyway, for example, the HELCOM website dedicated to marine litter management activities is not currently perfect. Actually, the whole website is being currently updated, but we would be happy to cooperate integrating the other resources, for example, the website of the UBC or links of the UBC website, which would really spread the word about the Clean Beach campaign and all those related activities in the region. Speaking about national actions, there is a great number of them which have of high relevance for the topic of this webinar. I just highlighted by these green frames some of them. For example, encouraging participation in international EU and national marine cleanup campaigns, which is a direct call for Clean Beach campaign actions. And we would be really grateful to have them more or less in coordinated way. And also, I would like to highlight that these campaigns could also contribute into education. So it would be not, as we can see, it might be not only like cleaning or cleanup event. So it would also include some educational events or presentations which would foster sustainable consumer practices and also contribute into the, so to say, promotion of efficient and environmentally friendly cleanup practices for local authorities or for the municipalities. Further, action plan recommends to develop indicators to follow up implementation of the action plan and to, so to say, identify the effect of the actions implementation, and also coordinated monitoring program. We will speak a little bit about that and how the Clean Beach campaigns are capable to contribute into that work either. Implementation of the Marine Leader Action Plan in general is based on lead country approach. It means that countries volunteered, countries which are HELCOM member states, so they volunteered to lead implementation of those or that regional actions. I will show how it goes on in figures, but that is one of the important tools in HELCOM when the countries take lead and somehow coordinate regional activities. So the work in general facilitated by HELCOM Marine Leader Network, expert network, and the HELCOM pressure group is entitled to follow up the implementation of the Baltic Action Plan, and all information is available at the website. Though, if we look at the current leadership, so despite this so much inspiring posture of this kid, we should confess that the leadership is not as strong as we would like to see that. For example, so you can see that 11 out of 30 actions do not have leadership, and unfortunately these are 15 action, which is really of a high importance for the region, has no leadership yet. In this case, I would say that it is not mandatory that only contracting parties are leading implementation of actions. It might be also regional NGOs, and you can see, for example, that some actions are led or co-led by well-renowned and appreciated NGOs in the region, like WWF and CCB. So then, coming to monitoring and assessment, as I said, HELCOM was committed to elaborate 3 indicators to follow up the progress. They were beach leader, leader on seafloor, and micro lead in the water column. In this respect, I would say that we didn't reach super progress. Currently, neither of these indicators is operational, mainly due to one key reason. There is no regional agreement on the threshold values. Actually, the target value which we are to achieve in the region, the only progress was achieved in negotiation on target values was achieved in relation to beach litter, and that target value was not agreed by all countries, but at least there is a proposal that this target value could be 13 litter items per 100 meters of beach. Nonetheless, I will then show some examples of how far we are from that target. So then Anyway, the monitoring guidelines has been developed, and monitoring sub-program has been also developed by the HELCOM countries, and they are available on the HELCOM website and can be used, for example, in the Clean Beach campaigns, in the way which I would propose further. These are results of the monitoring. So you can see 3 types of beaches considered in the HELCOM monitoring guideline. The dominating item is plastic. Here you can see how these clean beach campaigns can contribute to our knowledge on the main items of the leader on beaches. So these are reports provided by Russia for 2 clean beach campaigns. You can see firstly how extremely far we are from proposed targets. So you can see that we are highlighted, not agreed, but just proposed as good environmental status. So, but on the other hand, the general pattern of items is in Russia is almost the same as at all other observation points, with the dominating plastic. In the other campaign, we can see, for example, quite high amount of glass, which probably indicate that there is no proper take-back system for example, glass bottle set. So then, yeah, this is also about the top items, and you can see that top items on all types of beaches is still plastic. As there are some other items which are well found on the beaches. So then coming into the end of my presentation, so the HELCOM recommendation which enacted the action plan also contains target year when the action plan is to be revised or updated. This year is 2021. And now we are approaching the point when we should start thinking about the update of the Baltic Sea Marine Litter Action Plan in line with the general update of the Baltic Sea Action Plan, which ends at the same year. As some just preliminary information, I would say that the updated Baltic Sea Action Plan, the proposal to the updated Baltic Sea Action Plan contains some ecological objectives on marine litter, so it will be included into the new Baltic Sea Action Plan, and also in parallel we anticipate update and revision of this marine litter action plan. In the end, some remarks which I would like to specifically deliver to the listeners of this webinar. First of all, this action RL15 is lacking leadership. We are desperately seeking for that, as we see this is a very important action for the whole region. This clean beach campaign, they are to large extent contribute to the implementation of this action. They also can promote good practices in waste collection and waste handling for local authorities. They also, to large extent, contribute to the education and outreach, which are actions from the national list. And we do not have any reporting on implementation of those actions currently now. These clean beach campaigns could also contribute to the regional monitoring and assessment if they take into account HELCOME methodology, and if they are the result of those campaigns are properly reported to HELCOME. And finally, I would like again to call for leadership, which is highly required for efficient implementation of the Baltic Sea Action Plan and Marine Litter Action Plan. So including distributing information on the best practices through websites or any other platforms. With that, oops. Well, that my favorite slides is missing. Just a second, I'll try to start it. Come on, again. Yeah, like that. With that, thank you very much. And let's go together with this nice beaver. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dmitry, for the very comprehensive presentation. We can take a short question that we have now. You presented overall the situation with the marine litter and with the targets, and we can see now that the targets have not been achieved as it was planned. But overall, what is the current situation with the objective of significantly reducing the marine litter by 2025, like more in the context of maybe a decade of work of HELCOME? How does it look like? Can you comment on it?
That's a good question. The discussion on the meaning of this significant reduction is currently going on, and the case is that we either have no reference value from which the significant reduction may be counted, or the target threshold as it has been shown. We can see that we are so far away from proposed, again, not agreed, but proposed targets. But anyway, the work is going on, and I think that we have a chance to achieve any progress, specifically in these indicators on beach litter. So there is a lot to do.
I see. And in connection to a lot to do, how else can perhaps UBC and UBC cities contribute to this work, apart from just sharing the links and the news on the website? Perhaps you have some ideas.
Thank you so much. So that was actually my presentation about. And first of all, I try to give a hint that there is it is not mandatory that countries, contracting parties, take a lead in implementation of the actions. So it can be done also the regional organizations, and we have a good examples how, for example, WWF is leading implementation of the action on ghost nets, for example. The same can be done with this action on cleaning practices and involvement over local stakeholders, local municipal, local communes. And I think this is the direct task of CCP, or sorry, UBC, to involve local communities into this work. And it is of super high relevance for these clean beach campaigns, which are in many cases are run by local authorities. Unfortunately, and we know that there are many of those campaigns are carried out around the Baltic Sea, but we have quite poor information about that, due to, again, the same reason, lack of coordination. Countries are quite reluctant to report about what's going on at the municipal level. They are for some reason not considering it as a national action or national effort, except probably we have reports only, I think, from Sweden, from Russia, even Finland and Estonia, which are both countries are actively involved in this work. They are not reporting implementation of those actions. Also, as I said, these clean beach campaigns, they to large extent can contribute, being coordinated and being based on the HELCOME methodologies, can to large extent contribute into our knowledge. So this is our knowledge on the state of the litter on beaches. So this is monitoring and assessment. This is the other part. And of course, this is an educational event. So this is the campaign itself, being well coordinated with a strong leadership, can indeed contribute into a large number of actions. Something like that. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And we have the Secretary, Björn Grönholms, wanting to comment on this issue, the head of the Secretary of UBC Sustainable Cities. Let's enable the microphone.
Yes, hello. Well, thank you for the presentation. Hello. And it's really good and interesting. I think this is the reason why we have this day, because we noticed the gap of information, a gap of, or let's say perhaps, or missing interest of what is going on the local level. And really happy to have this webinar. I'm really happy to have all these presentations. We will take up your request concerning leadership in our next advisory board meeting in March. And we are also involved, or actually have just started our updated of the sustainability action plan for 2020 to 2030, and the water issue has been for us really important. So definitely we will discuss it. There are some technical issues I still need to clarify with you in HELCOM. So, but I think that when we approach June, we can definitely, well, latest say that if we can take on this. We see this really important. I have been personally thrilled by the enthusiasm of the cities in St. Petersburg and Tallinn and Helsinki and Turku and so on. And I know that just with discussing with Riga this morning, and they have an interest to be involved. They couldn't participate in this webinar today due to a city council meeting, but they have a national clean up project going on in Latvia. They are struggling with the fact that they feel that they do is quite individually, and they welcome this kind of initiatives. I think that with relatively small resources and push here, we can actually fill some of the gaps that we have in the region concerning marine litter and so on. So just a short comment. Thanks.
Thank you, Björn. Thank you for this open and practical dialogue that we have here. So we have heard a lot about St. Petersburg campaign. So let's hear from the first hand. And I present Ivan Serebritsky and Dmitry Krutoy, Committee for Natural Resources, Environmental Protection and Ecological Safety in St. Petersburg. Please.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We hope that during our presentations there will be some answers on the questions that were raised just before. Our presentation, let's check that the slides are going on. Yeah, okay. Do you see it? Okay.
Yes, we see it.
Yeah. Clean beach. Clean beach, the action is already 6 years old. It was established in 2014, and it was decision of mayors of 3 cities, presidents of 3 countries. Russian Federation, Estonia, and Finland. And since that time, it exists up to date. Every year, all these cities, and some cities are already joined to Helsinki, Tallinn, and St. Petersburg. We do clean beach on our different beaches in our cities. And the aim is not only, that was mentioned, as a solid waste collection or separate waste collection on the beaches, but also educational topic and educational aim. And in Russian Federation, we divide this direction on two. It's some kind of education and public awareness campaigns, but in Europe it is the whole direction of environmental education. And we make direct correspondence to the main ideas of United Nations, I mean Sustainable Development Goals, and every activity that we make during these campaigns are connected with some SDGs. You see them on the slide, directly or indirectly. Also, we describe the things concerning circular economy with the participants of the action, and of course we let to know people more about the ecological, so-called ecological footprint and so on, because you know, not all people, of course, also in St. Petersburg and Russian Federation, I think in other countries too, even know about SDG and this program for 2030 and so on. So it is one of the main part of our campaign. So some statistic from St. Petersburg. As I said, 2014 is the first year, and the governor himself participated in this event. And during 6 years, the level of the action in St. Petersburg was no less than vice governor of St. Petersburg. You see the statistic of teams, of collected litter, garbage, and so on. I should pay attention to the year 2016, because in this year, there was the only year when we decided and made a special web translation directly from the events, and all participants from 3 cities have a possibility to make cross greetings to each other, and we see this very good experience, and we hope that it will be implemented furthermore in further actions. There are some pictures, some examples in other cities. For example, in Tallinn, the same actions in Helsinki are held in Helsinki, in Turku, and Leningrad region was joined to us last year. So the geography is expanding. 2019. Here on the slide, there is some statistics, some participants, more than 500,000. There are a lot of teams. The main target group of teams are students, but at the same time, not only students. We involve all other people. For example, family can come and join some team and make the input to the action. Also, some statistics as a results is presented on the slide. But as we already got information from Dmitry's previous presentation, there are some results concerning the implementation of HELCOME regional action plan. And it is also a very important part of our action. And last year it was the first year when we made a real monitoring, because we made this activity twice a year, in spring and in autumn. You see the same national actions, national targets from the regional plan that in the frame of which we are working, and here are results. We added also the column in percentage, as you see, and Dmitry already shown that plastic is #1. It's, I think, the worldwide situation, and we should draw special attention to it. We see that it's #1 in spring and autumn, so it's how to say more or less stable. We would like that other cities in UBC countries can join our action, and we developed a special note of intent. It's available via link that's shown on the slide, and as was written here on chat, that the presentation will be available after our webinar. And some things about how to join and what are the rules. Taking it into account that every country and every city have their own tradition how to do this action and so on. We have no strict rules in this note of intent. We would like to see special actions in different cities in UBC, but under one umbrella, how to say. We can make this how to say slogan or so on, clean beach, and do it on different regional levels in cities with own tradition, with own rules, with own sources of finances, and so on, because sometimes it's critical, sometimes it's very well very well supported by the government, by the non-governmental organizations, and so on. That's why rules are free to add and to adjust to a concrete example.
So we have the best rules, no rules.
And as you know, as you see, we have 10 countries in UBC, and I don't remember the concrete figure, around 80-90 cities in our organization, and we hope and would like to see that one day a city from every country will take part in Clean Beach. And there is small information of our colleagues from our state unitary enterprise, which is called Mineral. A few words of it, and after that we would like to show a short film about Clean Beach campaign in St. Petersburg. Natalia, do you hear us?
This information, we are happy to if something to
Hello,
Hello,
Svetlana.
Natalia is here. Hello. I just want to add about our idea concerning cooperation with other countries to join Clean Beach action, and as you know, we have an opportunity to apply for a Swedish institute, and if you are interested, please contact us, and we are really happy to cooperate on Clean Beach cooperation and involvement, engagement in new countries. So please contact Boboleva HELCOME or Svetlana HELCOME. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. As maybe I can add something to last slide. The idea of the application of the project to make the very modern online platform in order to promote Clean Beach campaign, not only in our 3, 5, 10 cities, but for all cities. It will be some kind of interactive based of web or cloud technologies with all the materials and spreading through the social media, and also about the coming events, how to say, to advertise this event through countries and so on. So it is. And now we are ready to show the video. Should
Are we ready?
Can you?
Well, let's maybe share it. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody of participant to participate in Clean Beach in May this year. If you're really interested to visit St. Petersburg, just inform us that you want to come. We will be happy to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and it's uploaded to the YouTube, and I've shared the link through the chat, and it will be included into the materials that will go to all of the participants of today's webinar, together with the presentations. So everyone will receive the link and will be able to see that in the best possible quality.
Okay,
thank you very much. Thank you very much, my colleagues from St. Petersburg. And now let's go to learn from Tallinn. Gennadi Gramberg, Head of Environmental Educational Division in Tallinn Urban Environmental and Public Works Department. Please, Gennadi, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for introduction. Hello to everybody. And let's start with my presentation about our Clean Beach campaign. Does it work? Yes. So a few words about Tallinn. Just I want to draw your attention that Tallinn has a quite long sea coast, more than 46 kilometers, and we have 5 beaches. So we have some many work to do to keep this area clean. And a little bit history. The tradition of went to the Soviet time. It was special actions organized by Communist Party to clean, because maintenance was very poor at this time, and people have to go. It was obligatory to participate in this campaign called in Estonian Laupäevak or Subotnik. But now it became more voluntarily actions, and now we organize since the 1991. We organize Spring Clean campaign in the city. It's the oldest environmental campaign in town. It's starts in the middle of April and finish in May. And the slogan of this campaign is "Make the City Shine." And one of the main events for this campaign is this clean up event on the beach of the sea. The target group of this campaign is practically the whole population of city, all citizens, dwelling associations, schools, kindergarten, families, seniors, NGOs, even religious congregations also participated in this campaign. We organize the advertising campaign in the city. It's also visual. You see posters and banners on the cities. We have a special website in Estonian and Russian languages regarding the two main group of population in our city. We have also in Facebook a special where base of our actions in this sprinkler campaign. Let's very quickly change slides. It was some pictures of previous year campaigns in the city, on the bank of the city. Usually we organize our cleaning up campaign on the biggest beach of the city called Tromi. And for example, 2 years ago, when Estonia celebrates 100 years of independence, it was a special event. And you see on the left picture, participants made this logo for this 100th anniversary number 100, and they continue. But this campaign is not only just to clean, just to collect the garbage. We considered it as first of all, as an environmental campaign in order to draw attention of our residents of the importance to keep our beaches clean, because it's the garbage is collected on the beach endangers the Gulf of Finland and the Baltic Sea. So that is why we also this event accompanied with different educational events. For example, you see in the middle the special installation which dedicated to the marine littering. Last year we organized this interactive quiz using the Kahoot system, and also on the left down special games which also have some this educational background. Also, we use special decoration for participants before we produce special bags with symbols. You see this here of Gulf of Finland. This is and last year's we used when we agreed with our partners from St. Petersburg and Helsinki and Turku that we will call our actions Clean Beach. So we produce special bags. It's in Estonian puhasrang, also Clean Beach. And unfortunately, my slide disappeared now, but down you can see that we try to keep our actions as sustainable as possible. So that is why we also produce the sorting of garbage during the action, and in our tradition, at the end of action, we offer some traditional meals. So all dishes are also biodegradable when we use. 1 year we organized such action that people who collected trash from the beach, artists and photographers, they made special this installation from this garbage, and we made pictures, and now we produce from them posters, and these posters we use as an exhibition. So, for example, this is the part of this exhibition. Last year, it was exposed, for example, in Estonian Maritime Museum. It's one of the most popular museums in our city. So people in the this garbage collected from Tallinn, Helsinki, and Turku. So 22 posters, and they show what people can live on the beach. And besides this action on the beach, we have a special educational project for school. We call it Let's Learn, See and Do. And learn means the lessons in classroom, mostly lessons dedicated to the topic of littering. And we also produce this, for example, booklets called, it's translated from Finnish, it's the adventure with waste, and the second material which we also propose is specially dedicated to the hazardous substances in the Finnish Gulf and how they, it's like deductive material which can be used on the lessons. C, pupils made study visits to Serebritsky sites or Sewage water treatment facility and do its cleanup events around the school or on the beaches. And you see some pictures about this project. Plans for this year, we plan our Clean Beach event on the 2nd of May. As I heard, our colleagues from Helsinki and Turku also have such plans, maybe a mistake, but now we are dealing with the planning of this event, and I hope that it will be our joint event with cities and also some other cities. I will be very glad if Riga will join us. We tried once to invite them, but unfortunately now I see that maybe Rostock will be also part. And I have heard 20 cities from the Baltic Sea. It's very good. I'm very glad that UBC also now actively participate and will help us with to promote this activity. So I'm looking forward to see very good and very productive events around the Baltic Sea. Thank you very much for your attention. And now we have a poll, special poll, which I propose for participants.
Yes. We will launch the first poll in a moment. There you go. Now you will have some time to give your vote. Okay. Let's wait still 15 seconds. 45% of you have already voted. So if you haven't voted yet, please do give your vote as soon as possible so we can have the results. One more. Okay, good. Few more, then we'll have 100% participation rate. Great. Let's wait a couple more seconds. All right. Let's close it. And I will share the results with you now. So here you see what the results are. 67% of you say that your city has a clean beach event. Really great. But there's 33% of you who said no. So there's some potential there. But of course, good that nobody said that I have no idea. All right. And should I open the second poll now as well?
Yes, please.
Yes, let's do it as well. Now the poll is open. Would you like to attend a clean beach event? Please cast your vote. How ready are you to participate yourself and improve the You still have 5 more seconds to vote. No? Okay, let's close it now. There we go. All right, now you should be able to see the results of the second poll from Tallinn. And this is positive. 78% of you said yes, you would like to attend a clean beach event. And 22% of you would be there in their thoughts. So we'll try to get you there in person, hopefully. But thank you for voting. I will hide the results now and I'll give the microphone to Maria.
Thank you very much, Gennadi, for the presentation, and thank you very much, all attendees, for voting. Very happy to see that nobody's passive about it, and overall, let's stay in touch and learn about when the events are taking place this spring and summer. So let's move now to the northwest and hear from Tove Holm from the city of Turku and Baltic Sea Challenge Network about campaigns in Helsinki and Turku.
Thank you. So can you hear me correctly? Yes, good. Yes, so Mari was supposed but had some technical problems, so we changed. So I will be presenting instead of her. And I come from the Baltic Sea Challenge from Turku and work there with that. And Mari is my colleague who works with the Baltic Sea Challenge in Helsinki. And this picture is actually from this high-level event that we had in autumn, in November, in Helsinki, which was about cooperation among Helsinki and St. Petersburg in concerning the Baltic Sea. So that's why I chose the picture here. Okay. Let's see. How do I change the slide? Can you maybe help me? Okay, it's just slow, I guess. Let's see. Can you help me out?
Yes, we can see
Yeah.
the next slide.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. I think it's just, shall I use my mouse or the arrows? Because nothing happens.
Use your arrows. You have to click first on the presentation and then you can use your arrows. There you go.
Oh, good. Thank you. Now I'm good. Okay. So we have, as we already heard from St. Petersburg and Tallinn, that we have had this cooperation, and for the 6th year we are organizing this beach clean event in Turku and in Helsinki and in Tallinn and in St. Petersburg, and we have planned to have it. There's actually the wrong date. It will be on May 8th. And it's a Friday in Turku, and as far as I know, they have not yet decided which day it will be in Helsinki. And for those of you who have been in Turku, know that we have the river Aura, which goes through the city, through the city center. So we have usually organized it along the river at different places. And here in the picture on the left-hand side, you can see the beach cleaning event when it started in 2018. And here you can see that we have usually done it in cooperation with the association Keep the Archipelago Tidy. So they are joining here us and giving supplies to all the participants at the event. Yes. And just shortly about the Baltic Sea Challenge and what we are doing. So we are actually have worked with Baltic Sea it's now the 15th year that our network is working with this issue. And here in the picture you can see the former mayors of Helsinki and Turku, Jussi Pajunen and Mikko Pukkinen, and they walked along the river Aurajoki in the spring and in 2006, and then they were concerned of the Baltic Sea. and they wanted to be forerunners in Baltic Sea protection, and they decided that they will start the Baltic Sea Challenge. And they also thought that it was not just, you know, how would I say, environmental issues and environmental sustainability aspects, but also the economic and social aspects. And it's also, they saw that it's also something that has to do with competitiveness and welfare of the cities to work for environmental protection of the Baltic Sea. And then the first joint action plan of the cities was published in the summer of 2007. And also, so it's kind of two parts. So it's a joint program for both the cities of Turku and Helsinki. And but it's also an open network that anyone can join. And at the moment we are working on our third joint program, which is for the years 2019 to 2023. And we have there 117 actions, and one of them is to yearly organize this beach cleaning event. And we have many actions that has to do with awareness raising and environmental education and outreach, which Dmitry lifted in his presentation. So a lot of things that we are doing do have to do with that too. But of course, the beach cleaning event is one way to I mean, also to get citizens involved in this work. Okay, so we have our vision is a clean, productive and shared Baltic Sea. And the focus is the work at local level. And actually the networks, all the organizations and the cities and municipalities that have joined the Baltic Sea Challenge, so we ask them that they are welcome to join if they share our vision. And they are supposed to, when they join, so it's free to join, but they should tell what they will do for protecting the Baltic Sea. And the activities they promise to do should be something additional to legally binding obligations. And at the moment we have about 300 organizations that have joined the Baltic Sea Challenge. And we have most cities, but also companies, educational institutions, NGOs, regional authorities, and local national institutions. And all these partner organizations, when they have joined, they have told what they will do, what kind of actions they will do. And of course, many associations do have plans on organizing beach cleaning events. And for example, in the morning, a local passenger traffic company, Viking Line, who has traffic in the northern Baltic Sea. So they actually contacted me and would like to organize this beach cleaning event, and they will probably organize it the day before ours on May 7th, on the Thursday, and then we will go and help them with the actual organization. And okay, I'll just go back one. So this is an old picture from 2016. So at the moment we have 300 organizations in it. But here you can see that it's well, it's mostly cities, as I mentioned, but many NGOs we have, and schools and universities, and of course education is also something that we work a lot with. Yes, I'm having trouble with my mouse. Okay, so here's just some pictures of what we have been organizing for outreach. And here in the left down corner, you can see from the beach cleaning event. But of course, we also organize different seminars, both national and we join and go to international seminars and tell about our work, and have different workshops, and we also actually have this Baltic Sea panel, which is a cooperation between the cities and the research universities that actually focus on Baltic Sea research. And last spring, the municipalities of Helsinki, Tallinn, and Turku. This was actually a initiative from the mayor of Tallinn. So the mayors of Helsinki, Tallinn, and Turku signed a petition, and they called municipalities to join beach cleaning events. And this was due to that these three cities were at the moment in the Baltic Sea Challenge. So this was a feeling that this could be a cooperation. The main idea was that they wanted to draw the citizens' attention to a growing threat, waste in the sea, that we all work for. So I'm really happy about this, that when you started it in the beginning, that you have now in UBC also this challenge to get more cities involved in these beach cleaning events. It's great that we are so many working for this same thing, I think. Yes, and if you're interested, you're welcome to join also the Baltic Sea Challenge. As I mentioned, it's free of charge, and well, it's a network for people organizations, cities, municipalities that have the same interest in protecting the Baltic Sea. So that's what we do in Maine. And of course we can provide, but I think it's mostly, of course, up to the participants in the network also to be themselves active, and I think this is, as we probably all agree, that's something that we want more and more people to get involved for working for the Baltic Sea. So I think different kind of how would I say, campaigns are welcome, and this is great that we are all working on this issue today and in the spring. Yes, I'll just try to go forward. So we have 5 different focuses that we are working for, and under the 5th, the active Baltic Sea citizenship. So under that are all the actions for the Baltic Sea, these beach cleaning events, and for outreach and education. Okay. Yes. Thank you. I had one more thing I have written in my paper, that this project idea that you, Ivan Serebritsky, presented. So I really liked it, and at least I would say that Turku would like to join this project. Yes. And as the former presenters, I would, as them, like to invite you to join the beach cleaning events. It's great.
Okay, thank you very much, Tove, for the presentation, for also presenting so many different ways to cooperate in the region on this common shared challenge. And now let's go and hear from Rostock, a roundtable on marine litter, and Rebecca Kain presenting what are the activities in Germany. Please, Rebecca.
Right, thank you. I hope you can all hear me well. So I'm a project coordinator in a German NGO called Nature and Biodiversity Conservation Union, but I'm also part of the roundtable on marine litter here in Rostock. Let's see if it works. Not yet. Yes, okay. So the roundtable on marine litter here in Rostock is a loose association of research institutions, of educational institutions, NGOs, businesses, and individuals, and we are nothing properly founded. So we are a network that came together first in spring 2019, because all participants in the roundtable have had marine litter campaigns in one form or the other, and their aim was to join the forces. So we came together to find out what we could achieve together. So the backbone of the roundtable on marine litter here in Rostock is, or are, the various networks behind the parties participating. And every party has been established in the area for many years. And with area, I mean both expertise on marine litter and territory here in northern Germany. And every party brings certain resources, time, contacts, experience, etc. And those resources are also the limiting factors of our campaigns. So last May, we've been 5 parties in the beginning, and since we have an open roundtable concept, nowadays we are more than 30 participants. Not all have logos, so this is just a few of them. As I said, we're nothing properly founded, so we only have a guiding principle behind us. So we are an open circle of organizations, institutions, and private individuals also, protecting the environment, actively contributing to waste-free cities, Rostock, waste-free beaches, the River Varno, and the Baltic Sea, and which is important, we're independent and non-partisan. So this is a bottom-up thing here in Rostock. Rostock, as you can see on the left-hand side, this is just the outline of the River Varno and the shoreline to the Baltic. And we came together and we wanted to do a beach cleanup campaign with all the participants that came together on the round table. So we decided to start on the International Coastal Cleanup Day last year on the 21st of September. And what we did was to plan 12 different marine litter campaigns along the shoreline and the riverbanks, indicated by the green dots on the left-hand side. And we got 500 people to take part on that day in that beach cleaning campaign. And we collected 2.7 tons of litter in 2 hours along the beach and the riverbanks here in Rostock. And the central question that I want to present here today is, how did we get the people to join our cleanup? Since nobody has heard of us before as the round table on marine litter. So here are some pictures from that day, and as you can see, it's quite colorful. And what we had that day was a huge variety of activities that people could join on that 12 locations. For example, we had paddle boats, we had stand-up paddle boards, we had boats, we also had divers in the River Varno picking up the trash from the seafloor. We had horse carriages getting the people to the different locations, and also the ferry on that day was free of charge, so people could get to the different locations. In the youth hostel in Warnemünde at the Baltic, we had informative booths with the different participants of the roundtable presenting information on marine litter and our campaign. And we had cooperations with many, many locals here that brought their resources to our campaign. So all in all, to sum it up, we made it look like fun, and actually it was quite a fun day. And we think that was part of our secret of success for the day, to make it fun. Also, we wanted to show that Rostock has a real problem concerning marine litter. So from the 12 locations, we brought all the trash to the city harbor next to the circus, and we publicly displayed the 2.7 tons of litter for everybody to see and for everybody to be proud of also that took part that day. So what did we do with the 2,700 kilograms of waste? The city of Rostock is responsible for the waste disposal and removed most of it, but we also took part of the trash and got local artists to build a whale sculpture. And on the same day, we filled the whale sculpture with parts of the trash we collected today. We took representative trash like nets and garbage bags, but also funny stuff that we found. And this art project was supposed to raise awareness for what we did that day and what vast amounts of marine litter you find in our, on the first impression, relatively clean beach and riverbanks here. Because on the touristy beaches here in Rostock, you cannot see the problem because those beaches are cleaned every day and the tourists don't see the problem. But as I said, we had 12 different locations, and if you go there, you can see a totally different picture. So we built the whale sculpture to raise awareness for the problem in the city, and the sculpture is still exhibited in the city together with a plaque explaining where it comes from and what that sculpture stands for. So that was our first campaign. And we had a second campaign on New Year's, so we called to a New Year coastal cleanup to remove the firework remnants from local beaches and riverbanks. I don't know how it is in your cities, but in Rostock, every private person is free to do their own firework on New Year's Eve, and this leads to vast amounts of litter at beaches, at the harbor, shorelines, riverbanks, etc. We advertised the coastal cleanup via social media, so Instagram and Facebook, also in local newspapers and city magazines, and the radio. And this time we had 4 different locations where people could join us. And the special thing was we implemented an OSPA monitoring this time. We talked about that beforehand, so we implemented an OSPA monitoring. On New Year's coastal cleanup, we removed 360 kilograms of litter and had 175 volunteers joining us. But don't get me wrong, we didn't only collect 360 kilograms of marine litter, but the city started cleaning the local beaches on the 1st of January, and before we came there, they collected tons and tons of firework remnants and glass bottles, etc., from New Year's celebrations at the beach and the dunes. Yeah, and this time also we didn't want only to collect the trash, but we wanted to raise awareness. And this time we decided we would have a no, doesn't work right now. Give me a second, please. Yeah, this time we implemented a photo contest. So we asked the participants and the volunteers to take photos of firework remnants at the riverbanks and at the beaches, and show their perspective on the problem here. And we got a lot of submissions and are currently citing and the submissions to do also a photo exhibition in spring 2020. So it's not an they didn't do art from the trash as Gennadi said before, but it's quite similar. So yeah, so this is our way of raising awareness here in the city. And parallel to that, we do the OSPA monitoring. And yesterday night, we sorted the trash. And we do that to specify the problem of marine litter here in Rostock, because if we don't know how big the problem is, how can we ask people to change it? So they will always ask for a scientific basis. And the idea on the long shot is to maybe start an official project, because as I mentioned before, we are nothing founded. We have no financial support whatsoever for our campaigns so far. But we are thinking about maybe to get EU funding or get support from the city of Rostock, because we want to frame and place political demands here in our city, as for example, a ban on private fireworks, at least at the city's beaches, at the shorelines, at the riverbanks. But for that, we need to mobilize a growing number of organizations and people to achieve this change here in our city. I will skip the criticism. We can get back to that if you have further questions. And I want to sum up the potential we see in our roundtable here in Rostock. So the groups that come together on the roundtable advertising the same project helps us to play with a larger range. So we have our different backgrounds, and if they come together with the joint forces, we can reach a lot more. And this gives us more power for submitting political demands here in our city. And now it's stuck, sorry. Yeah. With each party contributing according to their knowledge and experience, we have different possibilities, and the division of the work saves us time and also enables the different stakeholders to cooperate and achieve more than a single individual or organization like our organization could do. And we're always playing with the same questions. So first is, what do we have? What resources do we have? And according to our resources, we plan what we can achieve with it. So what kind of campaign could we do next with the people at the round table at the moment? The next question is, what do we want to achieve on the long shot? And what do we need for that? Hence, we are trying maybe to make our own project with certain fundings, so we could do more campaigns, we could do better planned campaigns, and we can get together with the city of Rostock, maybe achieving a change here for the quality of the Baltic Sea and the river of Warnow. And so far we are proud of what we achieved, hence the short time and the few people that we are so far, but we're looking forward to what's to come. And if you want to follow up on what we achieve, you can follow us on Instagram if you want to. Yes. So far, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rebecca, for the most interesting presentation and also bringing up these practical points of how to make a campaign, how to organize one. It's also very interesting to hear, as it seemed to be like the first campaign that you were organizing as a roundtable on marine litter. So it's like first-hand experience. We have some questions to the speakers from the cities. And actually, Rebecca already answered from Rostock side on some of them. But let's see. So there is a question. Do you have clear plans on what happens with the collected trash after the event? Will it be recycled and sorted? Or is there perhaps some art produced? What happens with the marine litter that is collected during the events? So let's maybe start vice versa from Rebecca, if you have anything to add to the Rostock experience.
Yes. So unfortunately, the trash is burnt here because the city of Rostock who is responsible for disposing of the waste, is not having any sorting installed for the trash we collected. So we had parts of the trash sorted to go to the recycling, but most of the trash just went into the container and gets burned, which we discussed with the city, but they have no plan to change that so far, unfortunately. So just part of it went to an arts program, but most of it just got burned. So it is recycling material mostly. As we said, most of it is plastic and metal and glass, but no, we didn't get a chance.
Thank you. How about experiences from Finland? Tove, could you share?
Is it possible to ask a question to Germany? If I may?
Yes, please answer. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's have Tove, I think, solve the problem with the microphone. So
yes.
She answers now, and then we go to the question. Okay, Dmitry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in the bigger events that we have organized, we have also in cooperation the local waste company. So the trash that's collected is sorted according to the possibilities that we have in our city. So I think that's also an important organization to have in the cooperation.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Dmitry, let's have the question, please.
Yeah, thank you. So you refer to OSPAR monitoring guidelines and that you perform monitoring in accordance with. This is not a big concern for HELCOME and OSPAR, well harmonized in this respect, so the guidelines are almost the same. But the question is whether you reported the monitoring results to HELCOME.
Yes. Yes, we will do that. So we just did it yesterday night, but yes, we work together with research institutions and, for example, the EUCC and the Institute on Baltic Research here in Warnemünde. So we will report our details. We worked according to the guidelines of HELCOME and OSPAR.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Let's continue with the sorting and not sorting. How about Tallinn? Gennadi, could you comment on if you sort the waste that is collected on the beaches or not, or what happens with it?
Because I represent municipality, so I cannot say that the city is not doing well because we are very good. So we are the city. So of course, we try to sort collected garbage as much as possible. If we, on the biggest beaches, it's as Rebecca said, the official beaches, they are cleaned very regularly. By the way, that is why we organize our event in spring before they start this regular cleaning, before the season starts. That is why we made it beforehand. So we have something to collect on the beach, because after it is very hard to find something on the beaches. It's quite clean, because our beaches also have a blue flag, so it's also an indicator of good quality of facilities. And of course we try, but about 90% of collected garbage, it's so-called garden garbage. It's old leaves from trees, and part of them are also collected, is mixed with sand, because we have, sorry, because we have such very strong winds here, so that is why garbage after the winter is also mixed with sand. But we try to separate plastic and packages and paper as much as possible. We have special sorting facilities in the city. All collected garbage is going to the sorting facilities. And this garden waste, it's used for, it became degradable, so and used recycled afterward. And packages and plastic, unfortunately, some of them is also going to the homes and burned. But I estimate that because Estonia also took responsibility to increase the measure of recycling waste, so the percentage of burning waste will decrease step by step.
Okay, thank you very much. And what is the experience in St. Petersburg? How is trash handled there?
Thank you very much for this interesting question. Of course, separate waste collection during the Clean Beach event is very important and very complex question. We understand that this waste is really mixed and it's very dirty, and that's why it is a problem to organize separate waste collection, as we already do during other actions. But at the same time, we have a lot of non-governmental organizations which help us to organize and make as much as possible in concrete case. And in case of Clean Beach, we usually do some job with paper, plastic, metal, and rubber. Of course, in percentage is not so high, maybe around 20–25%, which goes to real treatment and recycle. But we should understand that the total volume that we collect is not so high. So it's several couple of tons through action, one action, and the problem is not only this plastic or paper or metal, but also the volume which we have at the end, and it should be sufficient for special company who treat and recycle this waste. And what is the main idea, or how to say, answer to solve this question is to make on preliminary, when we have on preliminary stage, when we start to organize the event, to choose those companies who can take this waste or join this waste to their usual treatment process. And this is a very important question, and we have some success in this direction with our NGOs company, because their responsibility or their practice is best on this small volume or couple of waste. So that's some kind what we have in St. Petersburg.
Thank you very much, Dmitry. And there is another question to all of the speakers, which is especially, I think, interesting and important question for those cities, those NGOs who are organizing campaigns also for the first time. Can you name maybe one or two tips how to start a cleaning campaign in the city that has not done it before? Most important tips for maybe attracting citizens to join, or I don't know, how to better promote it or how to better organize it very practically. Perhaps now we can start with St. Petersburg, if you have something in mind, or maybe someone else wants to start.
Very interesting question, because we are the government power, we have some special things too. We have some drivings for such actions. But in fact, if NGOs or sometimes small municipalities organize such events, they use their own local papers for sure, internet for sure, the official resources in internet for sure, and also they use just Sarafanное radio, the people radio, yes. So they discuss with friends around them, with neighbors, and it's really effective. Sometimes it's more effective than some official invitations. So, and our people use and this way as well. So for the first time, it can help. I think so.
Okay, thank you. Maybe some comments from other speakers, some tips.
Yes, I could continue from Turku. I'm thinking about three things. Last spring, we had many student associations who joined. So they actually, the students were very active, and we had a lot of exchange students that wanted to join. And this is also a group that's very active on social media. So it was a win-win. I mean, they wanted to do something concrete, and they are also through their social media channels getting in contact with other maybe people that we don't maybe get in contact with. And then we have also organized in the autumn, actually in the autumn we have this Turku, the capital of Turku has this day in September. And there we have organized this in the river Aurajoki cleaning with divers. And this is something that the media is always coming to and taking pictures and taking videos and interviewing them. So it's always, I think this is also, I mean, this is at the same time an information campaign. So this is one way to attract the media, to have something that they can take good pictures of. And yes, that was my maybe. And one practical thing is that in Finland, at least, if you have an event that more than 200 people attend, you have to ask from the police for admission and have a rescue plan and everything like this. So it's smart to organize several smaller events like for 50 to 100 people, so that you don't have to do the bureaucracy and things like that.
Thank you very much. Very interesting tips.
I would like.
Okay, please.
Yes, I would like to add something. So, for the city of Rostock with 200,000 citizens, is a relatively small city, but our secret was that the people at the round table, they knew each other and they brought in their friends and their connections. So we kind of used the snowball system, which in such a small city worked out quite well. I can't imagine it for St. Petersburg, for example, but for Rostock, it worked out quite well, which is a pro, but also you can't plan too much. So we had no idea how many people would show up that day. So we had to handle it quite flexible. And that flexibility, because we have no fixed background, was also our pro in that situation. So we could react quite flexible to anything coming up that day. We had no one telling us what to do. We just acted the way we would intuitively. So, yeah.
Thank you. Please, Gennadi.
Some tips from my side. First of all, it's very important to engage young generation. I mean, from school students as much as possible, because with them is better to deal. And if they will receive this knowledge, this understanding of how important to keep our environment very clean, so they will speak about this in their families. So they will encourage their parents, parents encourage their friends, etc., etc. So this group will increase and increase. So very important to engage. Also very important to engage local community. I speak from the side of municipality. So, for example, this year we will organize special meetings with local communities, NGOs in every district of the city in order to encourage them to participate in our spring cleaning campaign. And by the way, we have on the first weekend of May, we have in our country this cleanup day, so in which mostly NGOs and individuals participate on their own. I know that before, 20 years ago, it was a very big problem to encourage people. Now people come and ask where we can do our cleanup event, what we can do. So that is why it is very important to encourage these people who want to do something, but they don't find how. So municipality can give them tool or just to propose some help in this regard to that they feel that they are involved. They are doing something very, very important and very, very helpful for the environment.
Okay, thank you very much. And perhaps the last question that we can take today without going too much over time, but also a very interesting question about recycling and reusing possibilities. Does any city have beach cleaning opportunities not connected to official events and a possibility to borrow equipment or organize own events? So perhaps there is a question more about support that cities provide to to the events not held by the city. Please, Gennadi.
I just continue which I finish, because I finished just answering on your question. So in our city, if people want to organize their own event, some local community or dwelling association want to clean the area around their city, we ask them to bring this information to the district authorities. So district authorities will help them with disposal of the collected garbage. So it will, because in previous year we had such experience that people collected and they left, then birds came and this area became not so clean afterwards. So we ask it, and this system is doing very well. Because I work in the central department, so we even give money for district authorities, especially that they will help local communities if they want to organize their local clean event. It does not matter on the bank of the sea or inside on the mainland. It's important that after the event will be clean and all garbage will be disposed. No, how it will dispose, it's another question I shortly told before, but the main will not remain on the site.
Okay, thank you very much. We don't have all representatives from city authorities, but perhaps St. Petersburg could also comment from the side of the authorities. What is the support that city can provide to other citizens who are eager to engage into their own campaign for cleaning the beach?
Just a few words about structure of the government in St. Petersburg, because we have a huge city, more than 5 million people. We have 18 districts, formal districts of St. Petersburg, and also 111 municipal communities. And these actions and such an actions, not the only ones that we showed in our presentation. There are a lot of other action on different levels, on city level, in districts, and on municipal level. And there are a lot of NGOs that are that want to be involved and initiate and organize different actions. And they take support, or for them municipal authorities providing support for these sections, then administrations of St. Petersburg, of districts And some of action we already support, so it's from the city budget. And we have a lot of volunteers in the city, and they do their job for themselves, but at the same time they need some equipment, some handling systems. For example, they should have gloves and instrument to take out for collection waste, and also there should be we should be responsible to organize the process of transportation and treatment, because it costs money. And in this case, of course, we give such a support with support of our neighboring committees for waste management and so on.
Great, thank you very much for the most comprehensive answer from St. Petersburg. All right, maybe perhaps speakers, you yourself have some questions to each other. If not, then I think this is the point where we should finish the webinar. Thank you very much to all of the speakers for sharing these inspirational and very practical, very helpful stories from your cities. Thank you, Helcom, for sharing what is for us the whole objective and how can we all support the Regional Action Plan on Marine Litter. Best of luck in organizing the events in your cities in this year, and hopefully we can also, as UBC again, hopefully we can support you. Please be in contact with us. We are very eager to promote your events, to connect cities with each other, to make this whole region a better place, you know. So you will all of the attendees will receive a follow-up email with all of the presentations, all of the links that were mentioned, all of the videos from St. Petersburg and Tallinn. And thank you again very much for participating, and welcome back to the next webinar that we will hopefully arrange next month on the sustainable mobility issue, but you will get some more info later in February. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Tschüss.
Bye.
Just